Third video clip. Canada to California. Victoria down to Long Beach on a Nordhavn 76. Relatively easy delivery, boat is great. Basically that's gonna be the run from Port Angeles, Juan de Fuca, upper left corner of the States, down to Crescent City, which is the Northern California. We're in a hurry to get there before the weather kicks up, and we'll stop there for a couple of days, wait for the weather, probably fix, upgrade some stuff, and keep on going. Look what's going. Come and check it out. What's going on here? So you have the RPMs of the engine. You have coolant temperature, engine oil temperature, gear temperature, engine voltage, engine boost pressure, engine fuel pressure, from there fuel over ground, fuel rate, fuel economy per mile, so you don't have to calculate what's going on, you know what I'm saying? So let's say I have 600 gallons, how many miles I can cover? There you go. Hydraulic oil pressure, hydraulic oil temperature, fluid level on the hydraulics, alternator, how hot the alternator is, basically how much load you're putting on the alternator. I mean, I'm not gonna go through everything because look what's going on. Boom. $1,600 RPMs, burning 9 to 10 gallons per hour. Our speed is 8.6, 8.7 up to 9 knots. Going downhill right now. Foggy. We are in a hurry. We have roughly 195 miles, which is like 22 hours to get to Crescent City. Right now is 9 o'clock at night. Tomorrow midnight the wind will kick up really from northwest, and as well from 7 feet will go up to like 14. That's why engine is on a 1,600 RPMs burning 10 knots instead of 1,200 RPMs burning 5 or 6, just to get there on time. Owner on board, owner's decision is the right decision. I mean, it's good to move like 9 knots. So yeah, Australia to Singapore, that's another story though. But yeah, hope we can get there before the wind kicks up. Might have to spend a day there, check on the vessel, organize some stuff, secure some stuff. Nothing to fix. Let's see what we're gonna do. Wait for the weather. That's a fast run. That's what I'm saying. When you have to push it, she burns a little bit. Our speed 8.6, 8.7. And the other GPS 8.5, 8.7, 8.6. I'm calculating Australia to Singapore, but that's another story. There you go. She's burning between 9 and 10 on a 1,600 RPMs. 1,600 RPMs, burning 10, is moving 8.6, 8.7. A little bit less than gallon per mile, but if you have to move like 8.5, 9 knots to beat the weather, that's what you need to do. You gotta love computers. 12:40. 1 o'clock in the morning. Radar is still working. Our left screens are working. lost both of the navigational screens. They just restarted. The good old iPad is still working. Those, they just died. Not a lot of navigation. Keep the continent to the left. But I hope those will start working again. For sure, camera's not doing a good job to show the rocks and stuff. The rocks still are there.
On top of it, we got a severe geomagnetic storm.
Rocks to the right.
What's that?
And the continent is in front of us.
Here it is, here it is.
Oh, no.
Taking green and fish fries.
Beautiful. Camera is not telling the justice. What's that? 30 knots, 32, 33, 35, something. Whoops. If that's beating the boat, well, yeah, we're beating the boat. 30 knots, 5-6 footers, wind chop, our speed, 7 something, 7.5, pushing 1600 RPMs. Like I said, that's the new wiper blade in front of me. That's all we need on a Nordhavn 76 to push against whatever, 35 knots, something. Another 8 hours to Crescent City. Let's see if she's gonna dip the bow. Come on, honey, dip the bow. There you go. We need drama for the video, and there is no even drama. I don't know what to do. No drama. I mean, if you have to shoot 8 video clips in order to find a good one that, you know, she will dip the bow, that's not a bad weather. I know it's blowing 30, 35, but that's not a bad weather. Come on, a little bit more drama. Go, honey. There we go. Oh, we'll all be killed. Finally, some drama. You happy about this one? Because there you go. That's it. After that, nothing. Finally, some drama.
Jim's having to push it. He's falling out of his seat to get it.
Yeah, I mean, 40 minutes already waiting for one of those. Beautiful. Just north of Crescent City. Weather right on the money. Shifted from 25, 30, 35 south to 15, 20. North, northwest, northeast, shifting all over. Heavy rain. It's rainy. I mean, it's a good rain. And the ocean is getting better and better and better. Our speed, that thing is jumping all over the place. But on my iPad, it's like 7.5 to 8 knots. So we're gonna be there in Crescent City, Northern California. We're gonna be there before midnight or just after midnight. We'll tie up the boat there and we'll stay for 48 hours. We'll wait for some 40 knots of wind and 50 feet swell to go down to like something normal, like 20, 25 knots. And in a couple of days, 7 to 10 feet of swell, we're gonna proceed with the idea to run straight down to Los Angeles area. We have, what was it, 220, 300, like 550, 600 miles. Roughly 600 miles. Those are like 3.5, 4 days we're gonna be there. First thing first, let's stop this boat in Crescent City.
The other long line up there.
Yep, we can stop on this one left of us or the big one there. I believe we're still on reverse. Yeah. There was a little buoy behind us. We have 50 feet to the little boy. "20 feet to the buoy. Forward, please." Okay.
A lot of side wind, huh?
Say that again.
A lot of side wind.
Yeah. Neutral and just trust us. She will get there. And Crescent City, California. Last night, actually this morning, 12:30, just after midnight, we arrived over here. After a day of nothing and confused seas and 6 hours of 30 knots on the bow and 4 hours of 25, 30 knots on the stern. Weather forecast was right on the money, really, really accurate. We had some problems, that's why we stopped. First, outside is blowing 40, so no point, it's gonna blow just a couple of days. So the plan was to stay a couple of days here, but now we might have to fix some stuff. Starboard stabilizer start leaking, and put some oil, dump some oil. We got the alarm, we stop the stabilizer, we run just on a port one. Not a big deal for this vessel. The thing is that this thing needs to be fixed. And here is pretty good location doing this, just because there's a bunch of fishing boats, good mechanics, good places to fix some problems. And a second one is one of the bilge pumps does not want to work. Couple of drops in the bilge and the pump works but doesn't want to pump anything. So a good thing is that's the store, so we just have to walk on the other side of the marina, get a pump and install it. The hydraulic, that might be a different game. We have to get somebody over here to get the hydraulic arm out and see if we need new hoses or rebuilding the hydraulic arm or something else. But yeah, that's gonna be a couple of days of fixing the boat. Oh, today, if I have time, I'll try to explain what kind of equipment we have on this one, because we have pretty much everything. It's pretty good boat, pretty good equipped, nice electronics, well, really nice. So yeah, next video is coming. Still in Crescent City. The hydraulic guy is here. He's gonna remove the hydraulic arm from the starboard stabilizer. There is a computer guy that is dealing with our Starlink problem, and we're gonna go right now to the store, which is right here, to buy a spare or a secondary bilge pump, some hose, to see if we can fix the cooling problem on the stabilizers. It's on a rough weather. We're sucking some air, I believe, and it's creating a problem. I mean, we never overheat the oil, but we never get into a really bad weather. But it's giving us alarms and stuff, so not good. Other than that, she did great. Typical Nordhavn. A little fishing fleet in Crescent City, California, just northern California. 250 miles roughly from San Francisco. Don't use LED lights. They might not be legal. Yeah, right. Everybody is using those. Every one of those boats. Tsunami in 2011. 3 months ago they had some serious tsunami over here, but not as serious as this one. Used to be a normal marina. Right now with those pylons, man oh man, it's like Alaska. Let me shoot a video. The world wants to know what we're doing. Well, we're playing romantic. Sunset, nice weather in the marina. Boat is with some problems. We got some spare parts. And now I'll show you why the definition of the captain is uncertified underpaid mechanic fixing a boat in exotic places. I have to fix some stuff on that one. One hydraulic, bilge pump, what was the other thing? Cooling holes, all of this fun. Yeah, hope we're gonna be done with this one. I mean, fixing this one in a couple of days, next couple of days, but we'll see. Yep, this season, crab trap season is no go. They're trying to protect the whales. So the fishing fleet is here. It's not because of the bad weather, it's because some regulations. Guys are sitting here. Crescent City. Around the cylinder, we might wanna get the cylinder out of there, drive a couple of hours to Fortuna and rebuild it. That's the center, that's the starboard one for sure. If there you go. Now back and forth, run left to right to rock the boat.
Yeah, rock the boat so the stabilizers move.
It's just 140, 150
It's gonna take all of us
tons.
back and forth.
Well,
If you try to lock it now, will it lock?
Huh?
With the lock, most likely, will lock. It's not gonna be a problem. The problem is to find where the
That's a new problem. The
the-
old one won't lock. So,
port one does not want to lock.
right.
And that's what he repaired. He just got a new pin.
We're in the middle of between the repair and Southern California, so we're on your own. I mean, we'll see what kind of tools we'll have. I just don't want to start disassembling the cylinder just because it's part of the whole hydraulics. And one mechanic broke his leg. The other guy does not do mobile repairs.
Oh, that you guys just
So
called?
yeah. So we call a guy in Fortuna. It's a couple of hours away. The rental car is right there on the corner. So we might have to go rent a car and disassemble the system and see what we can do.
Bring it
The
down.
other option is single cylinder, but we're talking about fishing fleet in Crescent City, the fishing fleet in Eureka. So there is somebody that is dealing with those hydraulics. There's like fishing boats all over the place. I mean,
Yeah.
all over the place. Somebody is dealing with all of those hydraulics here, and our job is to find who that guy is and how we can fix the problem. But
Yeah.
that's the deal for today.
Or maybe harbor office knows one too.
Those are not really helpful in those situations. One of the problems we have on this boat last night on a bumpy weather, after we got some air into that pump there, we had to run a hose, or actually pieces of hoses, different hoses, from another strainer to that pump and hook them up basically to that gizmo 2-to-1. So originally this pump is pumping from the through valve that is down below, sucking the water from there through the pump through that hose, and is cooling down this heat exchanger for the ABT trucks, for the stabilizers. Once the weather gets bumpy, we are getting air into the pump. We have a bleeding screw that is doing nothing, and the water flow will disappear. We don't have any water flow on basically in a bumpy weather. You might work half an hour, might work an hour, and after it just will drop down to nothing, and there is no water to cool down the hydraulics. So I put some pieces of hoses together. I got a second strainer, which was for the air conditioning unit. Right now we're using two strainers. Crazy idea, but left one, this one is from the left, the other one is from the right of the center of the vessel. So I was hoping on a bumpy weather to be able to, at least one of those, to cool down the hydraulics. Was way better than the single one, but no dice, we still have this problem. Originally the boat came with two pumps with a basically how to say this thing, like a valve to choose which pump to use, primarily a secondary. There was a problem before, that's why the lower pump is completely disconnected. New hoses, new hose clamps, new one-way valve, new this, new that, and still same problem. So basically today we're gonna go grab a piece of hose. I'll make a bleeding valve to be able to bleed the system easier, instead of taking this hose all the time, every time when we have a problem. So I'll make a bleeding point to bleed the system, and we'll see if we can relocate or find another through valve to use it for the hydraulics. One of the projects for today. Starboard stabilizer, or the right one. It's kind of tricky to show where the problem is, but was pushing a lot of hydraulic fluid out of the hose, out of the fitting. That's the port one. Easier to understand. So this one is absolutely nice and tight. This one is absolutely nice and tight. And the way it's supposed to. And the other one, once you touch this, is basically wiggling. So it's moving the whole assembly, the whole fittings are moving out of the cylinder. So most likely we'll blow up the O-ring over here, and it's running on a 1800 psi, which is quite a bit. Those are basically the big fins that are moving like this to stabilize the boat. So last night we got a alarm. We checked the fluid was low. We checked the stabilizers, and of course one of them was gushing hydraulic fluid. Sorry for the noise, the washer and dryer working. So one of them was gushing hydraulic fluid. We stop it. That's the good part on this system. We can basically stop one of the fins and work just on the other one. So that's how we came here. Just one fin, just the port, the left one was working. We stopped this one, and today's job is most likely we're gonna get rid of this one and see if we can replace the O-ring on that cylinder that you can see right there, the O-ring and the fitting, and check if we can proceed. We'll have another 650 miles to go. Not a biggie. This boat can go just on a one cylinder, just on one fin, but the owner likes to have both of them working. Plus we have 3 days of a bad weather, nothing to do but keep on fixing little problems here and there. So that's the fun for today. Replace the O-ring and those fittings there. I believe you can see it right there. So replace the O-ring and those fittings and see what we can do. The little kicker is that we'll have to take the boat out and actually check it out. I mean, we'll have to get this boat rolling, and rolling 150-ton vessel, it's impossible in the marina. So we'll see if we did something or not once we get there. Don't be surprised to see another video of oops coming back. Okay, boat should be fixed, at least the stabilizer. We got a major oil leak from the fitting of that hose. This one was basically pushing that direction, was doing 180 degrees and was going back. So we got a leak in the fitting right where the cylinder is, just because the angle was wrong. 180 degrees turn, not really perfect one. So we got a technician. He did this. He adjusted the sensor, basically the position sensor. Right now this one is locking and it's not leaking. The other one is locking as well. The wind right now 35 south, 10 feet swell. We're gonna have probably in 5 hours the wind will die down to nothing, and we're gonna push it down to San Francisco area. We'll have to be there in 35 hours. We'll see. Tomorrow morning swell is like 14-15 feet. Not ideal, but we'll do. I'll leave this one open in order to check frequently what's going on, if we're gonna have a leak or not, and see if we fix the cooling on those stabilizers, because they will work hard. I mean, really hard the very next 30 hours. And back in the engine room. A little bit more organized, a little bit of cleaning here, there. I'm ready with some Y valves, pieces of hoses, one-way valves, check valves, stuff like that, for a action for the cooling system. So that cooling system was giving us problem. Was basically introducing a lot of air into the pumps. So I installed some separate hoses, different hoses, fixed some angles and stuff like that. Plus I put a bleed valve right over here instead of taking this hose every time when we have to bleed this cylinder. Basically, you just have to turn the valve right now. We'll see how it's gonna work. The lower pump is not hooked up. There were a bunch of Y-way valves and three-way valves and all of those. I'll make it the system a little bit more simple, actually a lot more simple. But first thing first, we'll have to put the boat on some funny weather, and a funny weather is outside. So we'll have to put the boat on funny weather to see if this configuration is gonna work or not. And if this configuration works, I just will hook up the second pump as a secondary or emergency or whatever you call it. So right there, we're gonna have two pumps because that pump basically is sucking water from the ocean, is going to a strainer, up to that pump, up to that heat exchanger. From there is going to a Y valve. From there, instead of discharging outside, is going back in the lazarette to cool down the steering reservoir, the steering heat exchanger, basically steering oil, and is discharging behind me on a port. We'll see if this one's gonna work, or we'll have to install a secondary pump for the cooling on the reservoir, on a steering reservoir, or we'll see. I mean, like I said, it's not gonna be perfect from the get-go. We just have to discover where the problem is and what needs to be done. And with this particular case, we have to put the boat on a funny weather. This boat needs to start rolling in order to get some air underneath the vessel, at least on one side. So we'll be sure that even on a bad weather, the system will work, because doing this in a bay or in a flat ocean is just not gonna, you can create the problems that we're having in the open ocean. So yeah, to this moment we burn those 100 gallons plus 2 by 200s. So we burn 600 gallons for 500 miles. Let me see, 480 miles. Yeah, a little bit more than gallon per mile, just because we were pushing to get there before the weather. We did it. The weather was right on the money. Not ideal, but the weather forecast was right. So we just had to push like 6-7 hours against the weather. After it was some good 25 to 30 in the back. We stopped in Crescent City, and I will show you why I stopped in Crescent City instead of Coos Bay. Why I decided to kind of like proceed 100 miles more instead of stopping in Coos Bay, Oregon, not Crescent City, California, 100 miles earlier. There was an option to do this, to stop in basically in Coos Bay in Oregon, to shorten the trip by 10 hours to avoid those 30 knots of wind. But right now, Crescent City eye entrance, it's absolutely easy to go. We don't have problems going out of the harbor. Versus Coos Bay on a 15 feet of swell, they might close the bar. And those 13-15 feet swell will be the last 2 days or 3 days. So outside is 5 knots, will be 5 knots of wind, but 15 feet swell. So you're stuck in a semi-beautiful weather. 15 feet for some boats is 15 feet. For this boat, if the stabilizers are working, it's a joke. So I didn't stop there in order to avoid this potential game of going out of the harbor on a closed bar. Here, they're not gonna close the bar. Here is absolutely easy. Straight shot, go out. Once we're out, after it is easy. By the way, for those of you that are kind of maritime oriented, you can see those valves and those two valves. That's the fuel return. That's the Raycor. We'll have a pump underneath those two pumps. So, on a normal way, flipping those valves will transfer fuel from the forward tanks to this tank or the day tank. If that pump quit, we can use the oil changing pump. So on a normal operation, valves are vertical. On an emergency operation, all of the valves goes horizontal, and instead of the fuel transfer pump, you can use the oil change pump to transfer fuel to the get home tank or wing tanks. And again, if you don't know what you're doing, just read what's going on over here, what's written here. Put the valves horizontal, choose which tank to draw, which tank to return, and flip the oil changing pump instead of a fuel transfer pump. Kind of like it. I mean, I like it. Instead of secondary or spare or pump number 2, we already have one installed. Couple of valves, good to go. Wish me luck. We have another 650 miles to go. No problems. I mean, no problems with the running gear. We'll see if we fix the cooling or not. That's the problem right now. The little glitch that we have to be careful outside. We'll see. Sunny California. Yeah, right. It's not sunny and totally does not look like California. But that's what we're getting. It's blowing 30-35 still. We're waiting for this wind to die down so we can push, because after this rain tomorrow morning the weather forecast is 10 knots of wind but 15 feet swell, and we worked on our stabilizers and the cooling for the stabilizer, so we'll need to see if we actually fix the problem or not, and we'll have a perfect weather. Just gonna have a perfect weather to check if we fix the problem or not. But as is right now, heavy rain, a little bit of wind here, 15 feet swell, 32 knots, St. George Reef, that's Northern California, 7 miles offshore. roughly 250 miles north of San Francisco. We'll see how it goes. We might start midnight or we might start tomorrow early morning, like 6 o'clock in the morning, in order to deal with potential problems daylight. But first thing first, let the wind die down.